I said last time that I would go through some of the carnage of SRAM Force CX1. Now, this is the original carbon structure of my first SRAM Force CX1. Here's the nice carbon plastic lever. So the first thing that went wrong with this was the piston, and here's the original piston. Now I think somewhere I've got a replacement piston, but I don't know where it is. Anyway, this piston goes in this hole. Yeah. This hole here, and compresses the fluid to make the brakes work. Anyway, that totally failed for some reason. Don't know why. Found it incredibly difficult to get a replacement, and I think in the end I just gave up and bought another one. But while I was at it, I've gone through 2 bladders. Both of them were leaking fluid through this hole. Now this hole is the breathing hole, which makes the bladder flex, contract and expand. And both of these ended up leaking fluid. They're quite expensive. They're about $30 each for a replacement, so that's 2 of them. And then the next thing that happened, which is completely bizarre, hard to believe really. Oh, you've caught me in the middle of a YouTube video about... So that was the postman trying to get into the act. Anyway, here's the next amazing thing. So basically that's parts were all to do with the brakes. The bladder, the piston. And the other problem with that, of course, is that bleeding SRAM brakes is a nightmare. It's not like Shimano where you just put in a bit of mineral oil and all kinds of works. You have to use DOT 5.1 fluid and it never works. You have to do it about 10 times for it to work properly. Anyway, here's a really weird one. Inside here as well, it actually sits on this lever here, and there's a ratchet system. I don't know where the ratchet system is going on this one. Anyway, this is the spool that holds the cable for changing gear. It obviously works on this and that lever there. Now amazingly, I was out cycling one day. I was coming back from quite a long ride, 60 miles, which is by far my max. And with 10 miles to go, something happened and I lost all the gears. And what had happened is that this polyurethane, or whatever it's made of, composite plastic spool, cracked here. And the cable end came flying out, wouldn't go back in, so I just had to put it manually onto a gear. A friend of mine managed to put a little, I don't know how he did this, very skilled, managed to put a little metal bolt through here, which would have effectively worked, but I wasn't happy with that solution. And I ordered from Ratio Technology. They'd what do you call it? One of these printer things that you get, and they made it with their printer. But you can see what's happened if you can see that. This is even worse. This fell to bits immediately, so that was a complete failure. However, just as I was thinking of commissioning somebody to make a metal one, on these 3D printers, they were ahead of me, obviously, because it's their business, and they made this, which is a replica of the SRAM one, but made this time in an alloy rather than the composite resin, which was a complete disaster. So anyway, not this one, but another one, I think, a blue one I've got. I fitted it in my new SRAM lever, because from memory this one went all wrong hydraulically, but the new one went all wrong. This came out of the new one, the cable problem. So these are just some of the issues I've had with SRAM Force CX1. The other issue you can have with this is that because this is made of carbon, the screw holes get threaded much easier than if they were made of steel or alloy. They just tend to fray. You can see there that this hole where the oh shit, what do you call this? The banjo, which injects the fluid and accepts the fluid. That banjo hole's completely gone, and that might have been another reason why this was leaking. So the whole design of this is fragile and poorly thought out, and certainly not designed to be maintained or fixed. So there we are. I hope this helps you with your SRAM Force CX1. I bought actually what I did as I'm talking about this is I bought a SRAM, is it SRAM Rival replacement for the non-gear changing side, for just the brake side, the left side, 1x11, just the brake. And the Rival is a far better product. It costs half the price. It's made of aluminium or alloy or whatever it's made of. It's metal, and it's been faultless. So I think a lot of the problem here is SRAM trying to be too clever, making things of carbon, trying to squeeze things into tight spaces that doesn't quite work, and not testing the pistons and the bladders and the diaphragms, and rushing it out for commercial reasons. I mean, these things cost £250, £300 each. That's $400 a pop. Anyway, there we are. Enough.